Have you ever felt like you understand English, but when it's time to speak, the words just don't come out the way you want? Maybe you know the vocabulary, maybe you understand movies and podcasts, but speaking still feels like a different skill completely. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. Welcome to AZ Languages. I'm Bella, and I'm really happy to have you here for another listening practice session. As always, just relax, take your time, and let yourself follow the natural rhythm of spoken English. There is no pressure here, just learning through listening and understanding. Today's topic is something very practical and very important for many English learners. We're going to talk about how to improve your speaking, but not in a general way. We're going to focus on something more specific, how to actually get better at producing English, step by step, in a real and structured way. And I'll also share ideas that come from real language learning experience, not just theory. Now, before we start, I want to say something important. Speaking is a skill. It is not just knowledge. You don't improve speaking only by reading grammar rules or memorizing vocabulary lists. You improve it by actually using the language, noticing your problems, and slowly fixing them over time. So today, I want to show you a way of thinking about speaking that can really change how you learn. Let's begin with a simple idea. If your goal is to speak better, you need to focus on output. Output simply means producing language, speaking or writing, and this is different from input, which is listening and reading. Both are important, but they do different things. Listening helps you build understanding. It helps your brain absorb patterns, vocabulary, and natural expressions. But speaking is where you actively use what you know. And here's the key point. Many learners spend a lot of time on input, but very little time on targeted speaking practice. So they understand more and more, but they still struggle to express themselves. That gap is what we need to focus on. Now, let's talk about a very useful way to improve speaking. It's something simple, but extremely powerful. You identify what you cannot say, and then you learn how to say it. That's it. Not everything in English, not random vocabulary, just the things you actually need and want to say in real life. Because, let's be honest, no one knows how to say everything in a language. Even native speakers don't. What matters is being able to express your own thoughts, your own ideas, your own daily life. So the real question becomes, what do I want to say, but I can't say yet? And that is where improvement starts. Now, to make this practical, we need to create situations where these gaps appear, because you can't fix a problem you haven't noticed yet. So how do we do that? Let's go through a few simple but powerful activities. The first one is something many learners overlook. Talk to yourself. Yes, it might feel strange at first, but it is one of the most effective speaking practices you can do. You simply speak out loud in English about your thoughts, your day, your ideas, or anything that comes to mind. Not silently in your head, out loud. Because when you speak out loud, you activate your pronunciation, your rhythm, and your real speaking ability. At first, it may feel unnatural, but very quickly it becomes comfortable. And the important part is this: don't just speak randomly. Speak about real topics from your life. For example, your thoughts, what you are thinking right now, your feelings, how your day is going, your work or studies, your plans for the future, your interests. These are the things you naturally talk about in real conversations.
So when you practice them alone, you are preparing for real communication. And while doing this, something very important happens. You will notice gaps. You will suddenly realize, I don't know how to say this, or I know this idea in my language, but not in English. And that moment is extremely valuable because that is your learning opportunity. So instead of stopping and getting frustrated, you simply write it down. Just make a note of the word or phrase you needed, then continue speaking. This keeps your flow natural and helps you stay focused. Later, after your speaking session, you go back and check everything you wrote down. You translate it, you learn the correct expression, and then you review it again. This step is very important because this is where your gap becomes knowledge. Now let's move to another powerful method, writing and translation practice. This is similar to speaking, but in written form. You take something you have written yourself or something relevant to your life, and you translate it into English. For example, a journal entry, a personal story, or even a description of your day. The key is relevance. The content should feel like something you might actually say in real life. Then you try to translate it without help from automatic tools. This is important because when you struggle a little, your brain starts noticing patterns. You begin to see what you can say easily and what you cannot. And again, when you finish, you check your gaps. You correct them, you learn the missing expressions, and then you review them later. You can even go back and try to rewrite the same text again a few days later, using what you learned. That repetition helps a lot. Now let's talk about a third method, conversation practice with correction. This means speaking with a teacher or tutor who doesn't just let you speak freely, but also helps you notice your mistakes and gaps. This is very important because sometimes when you speak alone, you only notice some of your problems. But in real conversation, other people can show you different gaps that you didn't notice before. A good tutor will not interrupt everything you say, but they will highlight important mistakes. And more importantly, they will help you understand how to fix them. After the conversation, you should always review what you learned. Write down new expressions, repeat them, try to use them again in another conversation. Even better, talk about the same topic again in a future session. This repetition is powerful because the second time you are no longer discovering the language, you are using it. And that is a big step forward. Now, if we look at all these methods together, there's a clear pattern. You create speaking situations, you discover your gaps, you learn how to fix them, and then you reuse the language again in new situations. It's a cycle. And over time, this cycle makes your speaking stronger and more natural. But there is something important to understand here. You will never reach a point where there are no gaps. Even advanced learners still have gaps. Even native speakers sometimes struggle to express certain ideas. So the goal is not perfection. The goal is progress, slow, steady improvement. And something very interesting happens when you follow this method. You start building a personal connection with the language, because every new word you learn is connected to a real moment where you needed it. It is not random vocabulary. It is language tied to your real thoughts and experiences, and that makes it easier to remember. Now, before we finish, let's quickly summarize what we talked about today. We said that speaking improves when you focus on output, not just input. We talked about identifying gaps in your speech. We explored 3 main methods: speaking to yourself, writing and translating, and having corrected conversations. And we saw how all of them help you discover what you cannot say and turn it into what you can say. Now I want you to think about a few questions. Number 1, when do you feel most comfortable speaking English? Number 2, what topics do you struggle to express in English? And number 3, Which speaking practice method do you think you could start using this week? Take your time to think about your answers. You can even say them out loud for practice. And remember, speaking is not something you wait to become good at. It is something you build step by step by using the language and learning from your gaps. This is Bella, and you've been listening to AZ Languages. I'll see you in the next episode.